Hi, I'm Carlos Torres with San Antonio Fitness blog and the San Antonio Muscle blog. I'm here at my house with my little dog, baby. So today, sorry I haven't made any videos lately. I have no excuse. I've just been lazy. So, but I promise I'll put up more videos on a regular basis. So today I'm gonna start a whole series of videos on exercise myths. And today's exercise myth, is that lactic acid is the cause of muscle soreness and fatigue. It's something that's kind of a pet peeve of mine. It's something that has been spread. This false belief has been spread for so long. In fact, it's probably been about 80 years or so since this myth has been around. You hear it all the time from personal trainers and other experts. And in fact, just the other day I was watching a show where they tested a guy to see how fast his body was clearing lactic acid, and even saw an experiment they did on Lance Armstrong measuring the same thing. So first of all, where did this myth start? Okay. Well, lactic acid was first discovered in 1789 by Carl Wilhelm Scheele. He's a Swedish chemist, and he discovered an acid in sour milk samples. So this is how the term lactic was derived. And then there was more research done, but I'm going to skip into the early 1900s, and a scientist named Otto Meyerhoff. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but in his experiments, in his experiments is what started the lactic acid muscle fatigue idea. What he did was he cut a frog in half, and he put the lower body in a jar. And he did this so that there would be no circulation, no oxygen or energy to the muscles of the frog. And then he applied electric shock to the legs to make the muscles contract. And then Dr. Meyerhoff, he discovered that the muscles were full of lactic acid. So his theory was that no oxygen causes a buildup of lactic acid, which causes fatigue. Unfortunately, they were making an assumption of cause and effect that was incorrect. And this idea was accepted for many decades until the 1960s, when Dr. Brooks began work on his PhD in exercise physiology. And he decided to test this theory because he was told by his coach when he was running track there that lactic acid was the cause of muscle fatigue. And what he did in his experiments is that he gave rats radioactive lactic acid, and they burned it up quickly. And so it turns out that the lactic acid, or lactate, which is actually the correct term, lactate, it was the source of energy. So the mitochondria in the muscle cells are actually even have a special transporter protein to move the substance in them. So the burn that people feel in their muscles when they're exercising intensely is acidosis, but it's not caused by lactate. And during intense exercise, or when you go beyond your aerobic capacity, ATP, or also known as adenosine triphosphate, is broken down into ADP, and inorganic phosphate, and then one hydrogen ion, or a proton. And it's this increase in the hydrogen ions that causes the acidosis, which causes that burning sensation. And during this high intensity exercise, the cell utilizes glucose from glycolysis and muscle glycogen. And then the breakdown of the glucose is what results in 2 pyruvate molecules. And to neutralize the increase in pyruvate and protons, the pyruvate molecules absorb 2 protons, and then it converts to lactate. So therefore the lactate is actually a consequence of acidosis, but it's not the cause of it. So in fact, lactate is actually a temporary buffer to the acidosis. Lactate can make a good indirect measure of acidosis since it coincides with it, but it definitely does not cause it. In fact, lactate is a good thing. It's a source of energy during high intensity activities. So people that train hard just adapt by being able to utilize more lactate and more efficiently. And so hopefully now we've dispelled that myth that lactic or lactate causes muscle fatigue. It does not. It's a source of energy. Second, another myth that's spread about lactic acid or lactate is that it causes muscle soreness, and it's definitely not true, because it dissipates within hours, and muscle soreness is usually not felt until the next day or 2 days later. So muscle soreness is actually caused by micro tears in the muscle. It's very small. You can't even see it. You can only see it under a microscope. And specifically, it's the bleeding and the disruption of the Z-band filaments that hold the muscle fibers together as they slide over each other during a muscle contraction. So, in conclusion, lactate is a good thing. It's a source of energy for your body during high-intensity activities, and it does not cause muscle fatigue, and it does not cause muscle soreness. And thanks for watching my video, and I will definitely post up some more exercise videos and articles in the next couple of days. Thank you, and have a nice day.